What's going on, guys? I'm going to do my little football lineup for Ricky Russo. And this was a hard one. You know, all my Bears cards and all my Bears favorite players over time. Had to put some thought in it, and it was hard, man. Shoot, man, I could probably do 2 or 3 teams, and I got enough Bears cards where I could do offensive linemen, deep. What I can do probably 2, 3 full teams of my favorite players. But to go by Ricky's format, we'll start it off. I got to go with the punky QB as my quarterback. Bobby Douglas was a very close second, as was Sid Luckman. But at the end of the day, I just decided to go with McMahon. Running backs, of course, and I need to get some better cards of this guy. Sweetness would be my first choice. I got a feeling that if a lot of people do the Bears, you're probably going to see a lot of the same cards. Or not, maybe not necessarily same cards, but same players. But anyway, yeah, Sweetness, of course, he's my favorite. Couldn't do it without this guy either. Gale Sayers, he'd be my second running back. There's other, lots of honorable mentions here. Rick Caceres, Matt Forte, Neil Anderson, just, a lot of guys. But how can you not pick Sweetness and Sayers? I just couldn't do it. Wide receivers, had to go a little old on this one. My first one's going to be this guy, Harlan Hill. Had a couple real good seasons for the Bears way back in the day before he kind of burnt out, got into that partying lifestyle. But, if you look at the history of the Bears, you see some decent name receivers, but as far as numbers and stuff like that, there's, they haven't had a whole lot of real great wide receivers. So I had to go with the old school guys. My other wide receiver, this guy came into the league as a running back, but you can see right there, that particular year, he led the league in receiving yards, but what year was that? They got his hand over the dang year. Johnny Morris. He would be my second wide receiver. I thought about putting Willie Galton here. I thought about putting Marty Booker in here. I even thought about putting Bobby Ingram in here just because I like him. But at the end of the day, I decided to go old school because these guys were just a little bit more proven than some of the more modern receivers that the Bears have had. So, Johnny Morris. Next actually is tight end. And really, I don't know who else you can pick for the Bears besides Iron Mike. I need to get some vintage cards of him too. But, we're off the top of my head, Moorhead maybe from the 85 team. Greg Olson was there for a little bit, but I don't know that he don't qualify in my mind to be on an all-time great team, at least not for the Bears. They had a few others that were productive, but a lot of the Bears' offenses require, blocking tight ends. They say, if you watch NFL films, that Mike Ditka was the tight end that kind of really turned that position into a receiving threat. Now, I don't know how accurate that is or whatever, but, there's really nobody else I could go with here at tight end other than Iron Mike. And my wild card, I gave this some thought too. Now, had Ricky said put in a special teamer or a return man, of course I'm going to put in Devin Hester. But as much as I like Devin Hester, he was kind of a one-trick pony, man. He was a punt returner. He was, even in kickoff returns, he's probably about average, but he just had something special about his punt returns. But, when I think of wild card, I think a little bit of a multi-threat. So I decided to go with Willie Gallimore as my wild card. His career was cut short, died in a car accident, but if you guys ever seen some of his highlights, he was a crafty runner, man. There was another guy they had. What was his name? Shy or something like that. Way early on before Gallimore, but Gallimore, I like his highlights. I think he's kind of a Gale Sayers type. I think he can pretty much do it all. He's crafty. He could probably play slot, wing back, whatever. But he's gonna be my wild card. So that's it right there, guys. That's my see if I can show that to you. God, it's bright in here. That's my Chicago Bears lineup for Ricky Russo. Now for the dice roll. Last time I lost count. I actually cheated myself out of a point. It didn't matter though, because somebody rolled like a 28 or something. I only had like 14. But if you don't mind, I'm going to borrow my trusty risk game here, and there's 5 dice in here. I'm going to roll all 5 of these dice at one time, and then roll one of them again. If that's not cool or makes me ineligible, I understand. I totally get it. I mean, we don't do this contest for the prizes anyway. But let's see what we got there. 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I'll roll, that's 5. And 18, 19. So 19 is what I rolled. Better than last time, but I don't know if it's going to be good enough to get it. But anyway, thanks guys. Looking forward to seeing your videos. Already seen a couple. Cool Toads did his kind of all-star type deal. And I seen another gentleman do the Minnesota Vikings. Good stuff. So that's it guys. That's what I got for you. Have a good one.